I have a couple of case studies from my practice when teaching people at the University of the Third Age. I had a group of students. One of them was woman, age 40 years, visiting University of the Third Age. She was there together with her mother, which was aged about 60. Can you translate?
A aluna mais nova que eu já tenho na universidade tinha menos por ela. Vinha com a mãe de 60.
Yes. We try to hide her problem. And the problem of this lady was she was divorced and her husband left her with her child, with her son. And the child was autist. What to do? She simply decided not to continue with her studies because it took her a lot of time.
A filha, a razão porque a filha foi para a universidade foi porque ela era divorciada, tinha um filho autista, tinha que cuidar dele, tinha muito tempo livre, foi isso que decidiu passar ao fim de na universidade também.
And I decided to invite her son to come to the lessons with her mother, with his mother. I reserved one of computers. He seated at one of the computers. He was very satisfied, sitting, playing, and her mother could took lessons. Could you translate?
E a avó então começou a convidar o neto, que era autista, para ir com ela para as aulas e o neto gostava muito das aulas de informática.
Play to spend time. So she felt her alone and was not able to come, but when I changed her status, it helped to continue in lessons. When a person becomes senior, is senior the same as pensioner?
Eu estava a perguntar se a pessoa é sénior quando se reforma.
Or pensioner is someone who receives pension. Or is senior the same as retired? Retired person is no longer active in his work area. Or there is a lot of people who left their duties, their working life, and a lot of people who are working, who continue their work. This retired
pode continuar a trabalhar nessa atividade ou pode se reformar muito cedo. Sénior não pode ser associado.
Of course, University of Third Age people students belong to both of these categories. Retired and also pensioners.
Ou seja, das universidades querem mais estudantes formados.
Toate aceste categorii, chiar mai mult decât atât. Copilăria versus...
Can a child be a senior?
Poate un copil să fie...
Imagine, of course it can be, because a lot of us are still children if we have our parents alive.
Nós podemos ser séniores. Se os nossos pais estiverem vivos, nós continuamos a ser umas crianças para eles.
Isn't it? That's true. Can a senior be a child? Yes, after we are 50, our life is turning back, and when we are 96, our approach to life is like being a 4-year child. Try to translate.
Yes. I have to translate. I have to translate that.
Okay. So child and childhood are often closely related.
Despre motivația. Ce motivează studenții?
What motivates students to become engineers? Ordinary students, daily students. To get higher salary or to obtain a knowledge, honor, or problem with finding a job. Try to translate, please.
O que é que motiva os estudantes normais a estudar? Ter salários, ter conhecimento, ter um curso, para arranjar um emprego, é o que motiva as pessoas para ir estudar.
Nothing is case of you, of course. That's not case of seniors.
Jovens,
Părinții, prietenii,
What motivates middle-aged people to find a better job?
ce motivează pe cei de vârsta mijlocie
Or pressure from people around.
să simt să
as
păstreze
pessoas vêm lá para estudar? Normalmente para ter um emprego ou para arranjar um melhor.
presiunea
O que é que motiva os séniores?
But what's the motivation of seniors? It's very, very different.
motivațiile seniorilor. Ce motivează
What
de 65 de ani
motivates people to come early in the morning for lessons, to travel during winter, to wake up early in the morning, to come for lessons? People like you.
O que é que motiva as pessoas a fazerem isso?
I can sleep, of course. I'm not going to sleep.
Quilómetros para ir para a universidade, ou mudar de lugar, o que é que é?
să facă preferente ca să fie la timp la cursurile de la
What motivates you to come for lessons?
probabil că
Socializing, so good motivation.
Yes.
ce motivează pe bărbat de 89
Husband, 89. Her spouse, 81. These were my students. These people were my students. 89. Did you? Very nice.
Português. Eu falo português. Ou quer inglês?
English, better English.
É mais difícil.
Sim, diga.
É mais difícil. Eu gosto de contactar outros povos, outras línguas, outras atividades.
I like to meet another persons, learning other things. That is my motivation.
My motivation is this. Ok? Eu gosto, sempre gostei. Eu dei aulas na Universidade Sénior a alunos de várias nacionalidades. Americanos, ingleses, franceses, belgas.
Chinese.
Não, indiano.
From India. She is a teacher also in the senior university. Portuguese for our foreigners people.
Yes.
Yeah. Perfect. Of course, to eliminate loneliness, not to be lonely, to be in contact with children and friends, to meet with people of the same age, probably, yeah? To demonstrate ability to achieve something. Try to translate this. Ability to achieve something. Okay? To forget about illnesses. And hopefully a little bit personality of the teacher. Sometimes. So this is totally different motivation when comparing to young people. Totally different motivation.
As motivações são totalmente diferentes do pessoal mais novo.
I also taught young people at university, and it was very different approach, because I had to prepare them for whole life, university students. But in case of seniors, it's not preparation for whole life. Motivation is as I just showed. One of my students, University of Sardege, was Slovak famous actor. For Czech, I will say, jeden z mojich študentov bol počas pobytu na Sliači v Kúpeloch. Možno ste videli, bol taký film o kráľovi Madagaskaru zo Slovenska. Moritz Beňovský. No, tak jeho hlavný predstaviteľ bol jedný z mojich študentov, keď bol na Sliači. Jože Adamovič. Hej, Adamoviča som učil, hej. So, this was famous actor. It was very difficult to teach him. Bolo veľmi ťažké ako ho zvládnuť. He came to lessons every day. We spent together approximately 3 weeks daily, from 2 to 4 hours. But what was the problem? He came for the first lesson, also for adolescents, and he asked me, teach me to work with computer. It was okay. Povedal, tak naučte ma robiť s počítačom. It was okay. But his approach was that he tried to solve all this, to memorize, work with computer. So not, and you know, of course, that when you are working with computer, it's not possible to memorize. You need to simply think. But his approach was, as an actor, to teach it as a role. by heart. After 2 weeks, I said, I will not continue with you, Mr. Adamovič. I'm not able to teach you. Po 2 týždňoch som mu povedal, ako ja vás už nebudem učiť, viete, ja vás už mám dosť. A on ako mi hovorí, vy ma už nechcete učiť, tak som to ešte týždeň s ním vydržal. Nakoniec sme si potýkali na poslednej hodine a tak to odišiel. Takže aj to je skúsenosť. Excuse me, I'm simply translating for our Czech friends because they know who I am speaking about. They know this actor. So, another 7 people, women, mostly women in the group. One woman, about 70. What would you do? Former teacher of primary school. Next job, head of department. For the first lesson, she was very late. Problem. She interrupted me permanently when I explained to other students. She interrupted me always, asked, and what these are you doing bad? This is not correct.
Também tem ao género. Neste caso, estava lá a dizer que uma antiga professora que estava sempre a interromper, e eu, quando eu dava as aulas, estava sempre a interromper. Chegava atrasado. Não se conseguia concentrar em nada. Qual era o nível de as aulas mesmo?
What would you do? What would you do in such a case? No, 70-ročná pani mi prišla pripitá na stretnutie. What would you do in such a case? Can you help me? I simply let her to leave, and after 2 hours, when she was awake, alcohol lost, and she was able to think.
Oh my God.
And she was very, very grateful that I don't throw her through the window. So I left her during the lesson. Somehow we spent these 2 hours, and after this, when the influence of alcohol was not such high, she was very grateful that I left her to be there.
Okay. Eu aguento as 2 horas com ela assim, e à medida que o efeito do álcool ia passando, ela acalmou e no fim pediu desculpas por ter vindo à aula nessa condição.
Another. Very simple with only basic education.
O segundo grupo que eu tenho parece nada.
My approach in this case was to ask other students who know her to help her to work with computer. Not me, but the other student.
neste caso, o que eu quero é separar as últimas.
So my approach in this case was to ask other student
We start again,
to help her. Not me, but other student.
like a mentor.
Yeah. And this helped also for whole the group. I didn't say her, go away, don't continue.
We start again. You gave a solution.
Yeah. It's a simple experience. It's when working with these hundreds of students. In this whole group, hundreds of students, I met such a cases. Problems which seniors face sometimes. Worsening of financial situation, loneliness, and ailing, of course.
Quais são os problemas que os séniores têm? Estão mais isolados, percam de rendimento, problemas de saúde e também, obviamente, fazer
Also, more free time.
coisas boas, terem mais tempo, poderem ter atividades fisicamente.
And of course, the solution for all this is also University of the Third Age.
Recomendações para os professores de universidades.
Recommendations for UTA teacher. Be very patient. Very patient. Do not hurry. It's better to teach less, but they understand, as to teach all and they don't understand half of it.
É melhor ir devagar, mas que todos aprendam a ensinar muito.
Don't raise your voice. Do not raise your voice.
Começa com a velocidade de vida
For example. And of course, if somebody has birthday during lessons, I cannot forget it. Yeah. And to progress is the
adaptem as missões às capacidades do aluno.
keep permanent contact with students. I'm trying to do this. Individual approach. Thinking positively. And keep friendship in the group. That you are not only students, but you are also colleagues and friends. Every meeting is also social event, not only lesson. Also, this meeting is also social event, not only the lesson. Because if it were lesson, I could copy this to send you, and that's all. You don't remember me as a person. But if we are in contact, in touch, it's of course better for you, for us. How can University of Sardege to help to go through all this? Status of the university. It's not school, it's university. Primary or secondary school teaches you how to do something, but university teaches you why are you doing something like this. Secondary school, how? And university, why? Try to translate. So, secondary school teaches how to do something. University teaches why.
Și aici învață de ce să face.
It's university status. It's not simply computer course. Because if it is not only to show people how to work with Word or to how to work with Google, but why? I'm explaining why it works like this. That's matter of university, and you are university students, not primary school students, pupils. This status is very important. Imagine our university. It is close to bus station. It is close to train station. It is close to a couple of hypermarkets. It's close to the center of the city. So when people are coming here, they have 200 meters from bus station, 300 meters from train station, 300 meters to the center of the town. It's also important. Here in Zvolen, here. So we are very close to different facilities. Possible to offer dinners, lunch, etc. It's university. So it's case of this university in Zvolen. It's easier. We are very close to all these facilities. Support services, teachers, of course, and fees are mostly symbolic. I don't exactly know, Eric should say how much the students pay, but these are not very high fees that they pay. In 2007, I spent 3 months in prison.
Oh, în 2007?
În 2007.
Yeah.
Închisoare. Why?
Why?
I don't know.
Why people go to prison?
Because they did something wrong or not. Sometimes they are not guilty. I don't know. You tell me.
Everybody is guilty of us, according to Christianity. Isn't it?
I disagree.
No. Okay. The reason why I get to prison was that I was attendant of European project orientated to education of prisoners. So
you are not
So the reason was to prepare people who are leaving prison in half a year to be ready for living outside. We taught them to work with computer. There was computer class inside prison, and I spent there three months. I came every day in the morning at 8 o'clock, left my mobile phone and go over. And we have...
Good for the prisoner.
Yeah. And one of our students, the time, he was man about 57, 58. He was it was not easy to teach him because his hands were thrashing. There were problems. And Parkinson, something like that. And we taught them to work with Word, Microsoft Word. Word, Microsoft Word. And I tried to see what he was writing, and he was preparing letter to his friend outside of prison. And he was writing, do you know how time is flowing quickly in prison? Don't understand. Because it was so interesting for them to spend there that time during lesson was flowing very, very quickly.
Miroslav, how long?
How long? One classroom was about 120 hours. 6 hours a day. Whole month. It was also quite good experience to work with people. So time flows. These slides are most in Slovak and in English. Try to translate to Portuguese or to Romanian what's there. How was? Can you translate? Oh, sorry. Okay. Do you understand?
Translate in the end.
Could you translate?
I translate in the end.
So this slide and then I will continue.
Okay. Que é mais fácil explicar a idade simplesmente ninguém não pode ter.
Nem essa hora consulta da nosso telefone, Sì. Scusa, è che non vedi?
Não havia televisão a cores, não havia computadores, não havia nada digital.
Não havia rádio, CD, DVD, não havia nada. Não era fotografia digital, essa fotografia. din 3 zile ca să ne opresc, da? Gândiți mereu că... Nu exista made in China, ori Coreea, ori Thailand. Astea făcute în scriptură în așa, dar băiete...
E voi estavam a dizer isto tudo à volta do mundo. Então, neto, que achas que idade é que eu tenho? O neto, oh vó, é impossível tu teres mais de 200 anos.
So you can see what happens, or what happened during 66 years. All of us remember this, isn't it?
Yeah.
So IT everywhere. And do you remember when did you buy your first mobile phone? Probably most of us remember it. When did you visit some website for the first time?
Quando é que utilizaram a net pela primeira vez?
Oh, it's no more than 20 years probably. When did you get your first email address? Imagine how the life changed during last some 20 years, 25 probably. When did you receive your first Christmas present or the internet? The start was IT everywhere.
Yeah.
Or what IT when questions will today's children ask when they will be retired? All our life is IT driven, depends on information technologies. And that's the reason why you are here, all of you, why you are here.
E a importância que as novas tecnologias têm agora.
Imagine if your parents wake up, do they understand what's happening around? Try to translate.
Yeah.
If our parents wake up.
Até há 20 anos atrás a internet não existia.
Espera aí. Há 20 anos não havia internet, mas já havia computadores.
Já havia computadores.
20 years ago, internet was anonymous. Nobody knew nobody. But imagine now, to publish our data, personal data, like name, photo, address, etc. We cannot imagine to do something like that 20 years ago.
Imagina că o să-ți apară nume, date, tot ăsta pe
It
internet.
was 20 years ago. How it is now?
Cum este acum?
It's totally different. Imagine Facebook. It was not recommended to meet people. It was 20 years ago. And how the life and the internet changed since that time. Do you know? Could you give me one notebook and 2 Facebooks, please? In the shop. Try to come to the shop and ask. 2 Facebooks, please.
Agora está a falar das medidas de segurança na internet e no Facebook.
Status, what status? Or what's like? You see there, like, or hate. Social networks. Influencer. Do you know who is influencer? And if somebody asked you 20 years ago,
What is
influencer? Do you know who is it?
Yeah.
20 years ago?
Yeah.
No.
But not the meaning.
No, very different meaning. YouTuber. New words, totally new words. And if you don't understand meaning of this word, you are not able to speak with young people.
Palavras que antigamente não existiam.
Yes. And when you don't know these words, you are not able to communicate with young people. So it's also part of our education of people to know such words, their meaning, to understand. Yes, or cloud. Not that, but cloud as internet. And imagine if there are elections, what are politicians doing with Facebook, on Facebooks? A lot of statuses, a lot of discussions. If politician is not able to work with Facebook, it doesn't exist. YouTube. New products and services, also through Facebook. Or some of us probably put status on Facebook that you are now here in Zvolen. It's possible that somebody do it yet. Or present your views on Facebook. You know probably this 1G, 2G, etc. It will be quite fast. I will click it more quickly. GS generation. Probably you remember it. In 1997, I worked here to the next building at the Forest Research Institute, and my director asked me to choose him first mobile phone. And I, of course, choose one for him. And he said, not like this. I saw more cheaper phones. But it's not the newest technology, I answered him. You need not NMT phone, you need GSM. It is a future. So it was the third generation. If you recall all this, you can remember these points, these moments, because we lived the time and very young the time. First standard GSM, SMS messages, conference calls, etc. I try to go faster through this. Other standards, third generation, fourth generation, after 2010. And now the discussion is being held about fifth generation. Is it good or not? Should it be used or not? Probably also in Portugal, also in Czech Republic, also in Romania, and also in Slovakia, of course. People are discussing, is it dangerous or isn't it?
O 5G é perigoso ou não é? E o 5G vai fazer para nós.
Probably we will not able to change it. It will simply continue, and we will live with fifth generation devices. Henry Ford. Yes. You can. Any customer can have a car, paint it any color that he wants, if it is black.
What the type of machine? It starts or
Yes?
A frase mais famosa do Henry Ford era: toda a gente pode escolher a cor do carro, desde que seja preta.
So, it was 100 years ago, and it's today. If you wish any color, any type, any...
E hoje em dia podemos personalizar tudo no carro se quisermos. Desde a cor dos bancos,
no problem.
dos assentos.
Personal car.
Personal
today.
car.
No problem.
Carro pessoal.
Thanks to information technologies.
E esta personalização dos carros só é possível graças à tecnologia.
Probably a lot of you use different various transport applications. In Romania, in Slovakia, in Portugal, in Czech Republic. Everybody of us uses them. For our Czech friends. Pamätáte si, ako sme opravovali Škodovky ešte však? Staré Škodovky. To sme siahli do motora, nie, a opravili sme hoci kde. Skúsme to dneska. Už si ani nepípneme. Try to repair today's car. Not possible. Vehicle computer. Optimal charging, etc. Also, transport, cars, etc. is IT technology driven. All depends on information technology.
Cada vez há mais uma ligação entre o carro e o telemóvel.
Will there be cars without driver? Do you think will be there cars without driver? And what happens? What happens if there is some conflict with such a car? What happens when car have to decide what to do? Whose responsibility is this? Is it whose responsibility? Analyst, general director, driver, owner. Who is responsible when the car hits the person and this person dies? Whose is it responsible? What do you think?
Não.
Whose responsibility is when the car hits the person and the person dies.
Mașină lipsește șoferul.
And this person dies. It's matter. There is no driver.
Și nu este
There
șofer.
is who is owner,
Cine e responsabil?
person sitting in the car, or general director of company,
Directorul general al companiei.
or analyst. Who is responsible for this situation?
Cine e?
Who will you ask? No responsibility.
Nicio responsabil.
And if you are mother of such a child,
Dacă ești mama unui astfel de copil,
who will you ask that this happens?
cine?
Very difficult situation, isn't it? Very difficult. It's also a matter of information technology in transport. Will we need to own a car, to have a car by ourselves? Or will we use a car as a service? I will ask, come and... It will not come tomorrow, but it could come in a couple of years. There's also a lot of changes which are coming. It's not coming by jumps. They come slowly, very slowly. All changes are coming slowly. Also, ownership of cars will change not from day to day. It will change slowly.
Já conversa um bocadinho, que é, será que nós vamos ter carros como temos hoje, ou o carro será um serviço? Em que eu chego a uma cidade, simplesmente dentro de um carro que lá está.
Do you have a car? Do you have a car?
No.
Not here at home.
Yes, we have a car, yeah.
What is doing this car now?
Is stop.
It's somewhere in parking place.
Yeah.
A lot of time your car is not working. Why we need such a car?
A questão da partilha do carro.
It's better to borrow it.
Yeah.
Also in your cases, do you have a car?
Yes.
Where is your car now?
Where?
Where is
Romania.
it? In Romania. What is it doing now?
Stay in the car, parking.
And you paid, you bought that car, and you are not using it.
No, not now.
Not now. How much of time you are using your car?
In every day.
How many minutes? How many minutes?
10 minutes with 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
30 minutes from 24 hours. It's not very effective.
My husband paid for my car. It's very good.
That's the reason why I am talking about borrowing a car. Don't you have, how to say, butterflies in stomach when you are thinking of all this?
A questão é até que ponto é que nós nos sentimos seguros num carro.
How when our life is technology driven.
É muito difícil, cara.
Por exemplo, o meu carro já faz uma coisa que esta senhora sozinha.
In Slovakia, when doctor prescribes medicine, he doesn't do it by paper. He does it electronically, and I come to apotheke and take my medicine. It's called so Erasmus. Do you understand what's Erasmus? Do you have it in Romania?
During the pandemic time, we use it. Kind of
We use this
So no papers. We don't use paper.
pandemic time, yes.
We don't use paper prescription. Not now.
Pandemic time, but now we use it. The paper. Yes.
We didn't return to the times. We still use it.
Yes.
We still use it. So I can come to whatever apotheke I like and take my medicines wherever in Slovakia. No problem. So we will continue. We are going to the hypermarket, to the store, this mobile phone, and checking on goods what e-additives they contain, isn't it? Is it suitable or not? Yes? You know what I'm speaking about?
Yeah.
Yes. When something happens to somebody of you, do you have special contact? It's called ICE in your mobile phone, that everybody can look at it and call help and call to people who know more about you. Do you have such a contact like ICE?
Yeah, talking about that.
Why?
Me neither.
It's important when happens something to you that everybody, me. I will take your mobile phone.
Yes.
I don't need unlock it.
Yes.
There is contact called ICE in case of emergency, and I call to this contact. It could be your husband, it could be somebody.
Special application.
It's a matter of your mobile phone to allow it.
It's what?
This contact is always in whole world called ICE, like Mary, like John.
iPhone. You can call.
It's not.
Call call help. Only on.
No, but not you. For example, me, another person.
But you must have iPhone or just simple phone.
You need iPhone.
No, it's not matter of iPhone. It's matter of each phone. Each phone.
Can you show us?
Android phone. Doesn't matter what mark of phone.
You must show us some.
So it's necessary to establish such a contact and to
Talk about like Siri.
yes, and
Siri.
to give there the same number as, for example, your husband has. And everybody knows, I know, that when somebody happens to you, I will contact that person who is under ICE. I don't need to ask you to whom I should call if something happened. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
It's quite important. Sa opýtam kolegov z Čiech, viete, o čom hovoríme? Ako kontakt, ktorý sa nazýva ICE, in case of emergency, čiže normálne medzi menami máte kontakt, ktorý sa nazýva ICE, a to je ten, komu ktokoľvek môže zavolať, aj keď máte zamknutý telefón. Môže to byť manžel, môže to byť niekto, kto vám je blízky, kto vie, čo vám je. Lebo ak sa vám teraz niečo stane, tak ako kto vie, že čo má spraviť, komu sa má ozvať. Ale ako všeobecne sa vie v celej Európe alebo v celom svete, že keď má niekto kontakt pod názvom ICE, tak tomu treba volať. Čiže také niečo je potrebné si jednoducho v telefóne zaviesť. Ja to mám tiež. A na obrazovke, to si normálne vytvoríte kontakt nový. Normálne bežný kontakt, kde dáte, ja neviem, meno manžela, dcery, syna, zaťa, to je jedno. A meno, číslo.
A je to nějak speciálně označený?
ICE sa to volá.
Jasné, ale jak někdo jiný pozná, to si k tomu jménu napíšu ICE?
Áno, presne, namiesto mena napíšte ICE. Namiesto mena napíšte ICE. Presne tak. Hej. A to ktokoľvek vo svete vie, že tomuto má volať, keď sa vám niečo stane. Lebo vy už neviete povedať, keď infarkt alebo čokoľvek. Prosím?
Musí sa ale dostať domov.
Ale to vy si dáte. Ako vy si dáte vo svojom telefóne kontakt na manžela.
Ja si dám.
No, ale na tento kontakt sa dá dostať bez toho, aby niekto odomkol váš telefón. Áno. No prečítajte si to, ja to nejdem rozoberať, hej, bližšie, ale zapnete si IC, hej, a skúste si a dočítate sa oveľa viacej, hej. Toto hovorím ľuďom, ale teda keď to vysvetľujeme aj prakticky na prednáškach, hej, ako na Univerzite 3. veku, to len spomínam. So, we'll continue. Do you have fitness bracelet? Or clock like this? I spent 184 kilocalories today. I did 1,500 steps. I see it here on my watches. Hey. I stepped up one stair. And other fitness devices, monitoring of your performance. Of course, in application of our insurance companies, we can see what doctor I visited, what prescriptions were done, etc. It's normal today. Thanks to information technologies in health. But what happens if and the same question, don't you have butterflies in stomach?
Como é que se nós tivermos toda a nossa informação médica num único sítio, o que é que isso
Lechtání v břiše.
privacidade dos dados?
Personalized medicine care, artificial intelligence, robotic limbs, controlled by an idea.
Inteligência artificial tem conta que começa a tomar vidas por nós.
Do you use mobile banking, internet banking? Probably yes. Yes? Are you using mobile banking, internet banking? No? Yes? Why? Why? Why?
Porquê é que não usas? Porquê é que não uso? Porque tenho um bocado de medo. Porque o Luís traduz.
Because he is afraid.
You are afraid?
Yeah.
Se tens medo, sim, sim.
I'm not going to solve this time. However, in a couple of years, you will have probably problem to exist. That if not using mobile banking, internet banking during COVID, for example, it's problem to exist.
Durante o Covid? Não.
How to do shopping?
ATM.
On this through ATM?
And the NOS card.
Think of it. Okay. Online shopping. You are not shopping online. No. Yes. How are you paying? How do you pay?
Como é que fazias?
By cash?
Como é que pagavas?
By cash?
No multibanco. Na mesma no multibanco.
ATM.
Not by.
you-
Courier brings goods. How you are paying?
Now, yeah, I say.
Nunca nos meus dados.
See, yes, she buy, but she pay in the ATM.
And if I live far from ATM, 10 kilometers, how should I pay?
Wait, and you go by car.
Vais de carro até ao ATM. Até ao
multibanco e pagas.
multibanco e pagas.
Yeah.
Assim,
There are lots of ATM posts.
ele está a achar
So, credit cards, loyalty cards. Do you have credit card?
se tem o quê?
Loyalty card,
Doutor Luís, se tem o cartão.
credit cards, loyalty cards, of course.
Yes, yes.
And what about your data on these cards?
Debit,
If data are stolen, what happens? Try to translate. If the data on credit or debit card or loyalty card are stolen, what happens?
Se perdeu o cartão multibanco.
não.
No, if we lost the credit, no, debit card. She don't have a
There is-
credit card, only a debit card.
You don't use credit card, only debit card?
Yeah. Estás tramado.
Pois. Ele está a achar estranho.
Do you know
Pode dizer, eu sei
Do you
que
know that using of debit card is more dangerous than credit card?
e não
Está a dizer que o cartão de crédito é mais perigoso.
Because there is no limit in most cases, and it has direct access to your account. Debit card, credit card doesn't have direct access to your account, isn't it?
Yeah.
Translate.
Ele está a dizer que o cartão de débito tem acesso direto à conta. Portanto, o cartão de crédito, não.
You cannot lose more than is limit on credit card.
É mais perigoso perder o cartão de débito do que de crédito. Eu acho que não, mas ok.
Limit on debit card is limit of your money of your account.
But the debit card also, you can't say to the bank, don't pay more than this.
Of course, but hacker also knows this.
Yeah.
password só aqui.
So, you are going for shopping. Do you have a list of goods on the paper, or do you use mobile phone?
Quando fazem uma lista de compras, devem um papel.
What do you use? Husband is mobile driver. We have it different. My wife calls me. No, last month I installed her in her mobile phone the same application, and she puts it into application, and I saw it in my application the same.
So you know everything she does.
Yeah. Do you pay by card or even by watch? I pay through these watches.
Pode-se pagar com o cartão e também através do relógio, não é? Sim, agora uns relógios. Sim, estou falando com clientes. Também dá.
Tomáš? Skús mi zavolať na moje číslo teraz.
Dobre, a potom si dajte mikrofón k ústa, ale stále na to zabúrať.
So, now I am trying to do some short experiment. Thomas is calling me
Facem pregătiri practice. Attention, please.
Sună deja.
Oh, Thomas, are you here? Do you listen me? So I'm speaking with Thomas now.
Hello, Thomas.
Okay, thank you. It's. I have to explain. This is not matter only my watches. These are Apple watches, and I have my iPhone here. So he was calling to my iPhone, and my iPhone was connected to my watches. So if I don't have iPhone, I'm not able to communicate with my watches. Distance, no. Oh, vidím. Do you know what happened this day? Do you know what happened this day?
What?
In 2007. The time Steve Jobs introduced the first iPhone, first smartphone, 14 years ago. Here is what he said. He introduced three devices, phone, and internet communicator. But it was not three devices really, it was only one device. Today, probably everybody of us, most of us are using smartphones. Mm-hmm. It was the starting point. 14 years ago. What changed?
Smartphone nasceu em 2007.
Yes, we are calling this iPhone. You can watch this video on YouTube, of course, if you wish. Today, all of us are using our phones with a lot of possibilities which they offer are being really sold. I have to say, we are the goods. We are the goods who are being sold. Is it not easy and simple to say, but we are those goods? And our privacy is being sold.
Nossa privacidade está.
Because in all of these devices, in all of these applications, are our data.
Estamos todos a
Do you know? Our data are in these devices.
Ou seja, os nossos dados pessoais.
We don't pay in cash, we pay by our privacy. We open our privacy to others with our will, by our decision. Our safety is being sold. So, in some case, that you are true. But if you are afraid of using mobile, of using internet banking, etc., aren't you aware of using your mobile phone?
sei o que é fusing, o que é que eu sei sobre a minha privacidade na internet, eu acho que é muito isso.
You don't understand. Okay. If she's afraid of using mobile banking, why isn't she afraid by using mobile phone, where all her data are inside?
Sim.
Why she's not afraid?
Basta abrir a internet, mesmo que não faças pagamentos, mas os outros dados como redes sociais e outras coisas, fica aberto na mesma os teus dados. Foi o que eu entendi.
Lot of your privacy is also
Sim. Nossa
seen.
privacidade.
No? And somebody, and I will continue. Payment. So there are companies that monitor our behavior. Special companies are on the internet who monitor what we are doing, all of these activities, where we are moving, to whom we are calling, with whom we are speaking, to whom we are sending emails, what is content of our email. Some companies can collect this data. They create our profile. And this profile contains our hobbies, our political orientation, how we spend money, or our sexual orientation, or religions. All of these some companies can collect, with or without our agreement. Can they do it? Of course they can.
As empresas de dados ficam com os nossos passatempos, onde é que nós gastamos dinheiro, quais são os nossos gostos, com tudo. E é aí que nós devemos ter com isso. É assim, se for pesquisar,
what websites do you visit, emails, etc. A lot. They collect, these companies collect a lot of information without our agreement, isn't it? And what happens further? A lot of website contains so-called trackers, as it said here. A lot of websites contain so-called trackers.
Yeah. Ou seja, significa que uma coisa ser grátis, não tem um preço a pagar por isso. Neste caso é esta informação.
There are so-called data brokers that collect and sell this information to other companies who can pay for this. You don't understand? Can you try?
Okay.
So, anonymous data are finally not anonymous. They collect
O que é que significa ser verdadeiramente anónimo?
The same stand for loyalty cards, payment cards, GPS, emails, SMS messages, or phone calls. All of this information can be analyzed, collected, analyzed, sold to others, and that's what we pay. So our phone and applications and devices inside that we have free of charge are in fact not free of charge.
Tudo que a gente compra, depois de uma aplicação está a uma informação.
If you will call me now to my phone, your phone and your operator in Portugal knows where you are now. And of course, if somebody pays enough money, it can get this information to somebody. Yeah? So, different sources. Another question for discussion. Could technology divide us in the future? For example, richer people will have better access to charging electric cars. You have more money, your car can be charged faster. Or wealthy people could have healthier life, for example.
A tecnologia vai continuar a mostrar as pessoas, porque só determinadas pessoas é que vão ter acesso ao bem.
Or wealthier people can be more effective to find a job. It's also a matter of technology, due to better nutrition, etc. Imagine cars, I talked about it, that do not need driver. You can start washing machine being here. No problem to start washing machine in Portugal from here today. Isn't it? No problem. Another question. If you receive message that you didn't pay for something, and there is possible you will pay some fine. How you solve this situation? Now, if you don't use mobile banking, if I use mobile banking, no problem, wherever I am, I can pay my bills. If no, I will pay fines. Could you try to translate to your colleague?
Nós podemos pagar
As I said, if I use mobile banking, no problem to pay for bills at this moment. I can check what I should pay for electricity, for gas, etc. And no problem to pay it from here. If I don't use mobile banking, I have the problem.
What is this?
Microphone for Thomas. So, paying bills. activation of connected devices. Some examples I will show you on Friday, and many others. Automatic switching of the house, alarm, lighting, etc. Or automatic start of your favorite TV program when you are coming home. Heating pillow, my temperature, etc. It's a matter of nowadays technologies.